The village awakened with the soft golden light of dawn. Roosters crowed. Wooden carts creaked along the dirt road. Farmers carried tools toward their fields. Children ran laughing beside the river. But if you watched carefully, you would notice something strange. No one ever looked toward the hill. No one spoke about the church. It was as if the building did not exist. Yet its tall stone tower cast a long shadow over the entire village. The church had once been the heart of the village. Many years earlier, weddings had filled its halls with laughter. Children were baptized there. Villagers gathered there every Sunday. The bell tower rang across the valley like a voice of hope. But that changed one winter night. After that night, the church doors were sealed, and the bell never rang again. Among the villagers lived a boy named Thomas Hale. Thomas was 14 years old. Unlike most villagers, Thomas was not afraid of the church. He was curious. Every evening, he climbed the small hill behind his home and stared at the distant church tower. Questions filled his mind. Why did the villagers fear it? What happened there 30 years ago? And why did no one speak about it? One evening, Thomas asked his mother about the church. Her smile faded instantly. "Never go there," she whispered. Her voice trembled. "Nothing good waits inside those walls." Thomas asked again, but she refused to speak further. That night, curiosity became stronger than fear. Thomas decided he would uncover the truth himself. Before going to the church, Thomas visited the oldest man in the village, a quiet elder named Mr. Alden. The old man had lived in Black Hollow his entire life. When Thomas asked about the church, the old man stared into the fire for a long time. Finally, he spoke. 30 years ago, he said slowly, something happened inside that church. Something no one ever forgot, but few truly understood. Mr. Alden described the night everything changed. It was the coldest winter Black Hollow had ever seen. Snow covered the valley. Most villagers slept early that night. But suddenly, the church bell began ringing. Loud. Faster. More urgently than anyone had ever heard before. It rang through the entire night. Again and again. But when villagers ran to the church the next morning, the priest was gone, and the church was empty. That night Thomas could not sleep. The story haunted his mind. Under the pale glow of the moon, he quietly left his house. The village was silent. Only the wind whispered through the grass. Slowly, Thomas climbed the hill toward the church. With every step, the building grew darker, more mysterious, more alive. Thomas reached the church doors. The wood was old. The iron handle rusted. For 30 years, no one had opened them. His hands trembled as he pushed. The door creaked slowly, and the silence inside felt heavier than the darkness outside. Dust filled the air. Broken pews lined the hall. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling beams. The once beautiful stained glass windows were cracked and faded. But the strangest thing was the floor. There were footprints in the dust. Fresh ones. Someone had been here. Behind the altar, Thomas discovered something hidden. A wooden panel. When he pushed it open, a narrow staircase appeared. Stone steps led downward into darkness. His heart pounded, but curiosity pushed him forward. Slowly, he descended underground. At the bottom of the stairs lay a small stone chamber. An old desk stood in the center, covered in dust. On it rested several journals. Leather-bound, ancient. They belonged to the priest who vanished. Thomas carefully opened the journals. Inside were handwritten entries. The priest had recorded everything. And what Thomas read changed everything. The priest had discovered that a group of bandits planned to attack Black Hollow. They were coming from the mountains, and the village had no defenses. The priest had one plan. He rang the church bell all night long, not for the villagers, but for nearby towns. The bell was a signal, a warning, a call for help. And it worked. Nearby villages heard the bell. Men came to defend Black Hollow. The bandits never attacked. But during the chaos, the priest disappeared. Thomas ran back to the village carrying the journals. By morning, the entire village gathered. For the first time in decades, the truth was revealed. The church had never been cursed. It had been the place where their savior made his final stand. That morning, the villagers climbed the hill together. They cleaned the church. They repaired the doors. And as the sun rose over Black Hollow, the bell rang again, for the first time in 30 years. Not as a warning, but as a memory, a tribute to the priest who saved them all. And from that day forward, the Church of Black Hollow was silent no longer.